What is up, everyone? It is Lovenji Gaming, and I am here with another Populous at the Beginning shoutcast. Now, of course, it's been a while since I've done one of these. We obviously celebrated the Populous at the Beginning Giving 2020 tournament. Congratulations to once again to Tundar and the Tundras for their tournament victory. Today, this game is unaffiliated with a 1v1, well, with a tournament, and it is just 1v1. It is a 1v1 between two very good players, very respected players in the Populous at the Beginning community, so hopefully it should be a good game to watch. Yeah, the tribe spectating with me is Babo, and so you might see comments from him pop up from time to time. But without further ado, playing as the blue tribe in the Dakini position, we have Gods of Destruction, Eric. His opponent, you know him, you love him, or you hate him. He's one of our very best here in Populous. It is Nisi of the clan Overpowered. He's of course taking up the Chumara in the Chumara position. And it looks like we're about to be seeing the standard opener for this map. This is of course the 1v1 pressure point variant known as Yggdrasil. There's also Yggdrasil, which plays blue versus green as opposed to red versus yellow. Of course you're probably thinking this tribe is blue. What do you mean red versus yellow? This is just the rotation. It is blue tribe in the red base. So we've got a little bit of combat going on at the front. Braves that have been converted are having a little bit of a fisticuffs brawl. This is 1.3, so they don't need to worry about these towers being incredibly strong as they are in beta. But we're looking to see how both players just finish up their converts. It's looking really rather good. Towers going up from Eric. We need to be seeing Fire Warriors coming out soon. I quite like this configuration, but I know not everybody chooses to build like this. And yet Fire Warriors immediately being trained as soon as the Fire Warrior hut is done. We got Fire Warriors coming out from Nisi as well. Should be immediately making their way to some of these towers. Start getting it filled in case an early EQ comes your way. We cannot see the spells that the players are charging because, of course, we're in this game as an actual spectator, as you've seen me go over to my shaman a couple of times now. But it's safe to assume that both players of this aggressive caliber, they'll be looking to take some ghosts, some earthquakes, and push in with maybe a tornado as well. So it looks like Nisi is not building the typical warrior hut here. I normally see a warrior hut here. This might be his warrior hut. But he's building his base quite nicely. We can see a number of small huts. And once again, we've got a reasonably well built out base from Eric as well. Hopefully the action will be starting very shortly, and as if on cue, we've got Eric pushing forward and throwing out the first EQ on the front line. This is a reasonably good EQ to start the game. I'm surprised that hut did not get destroyed from the difference in elevation of the ground. But otherwise, it does look to be more or less just the tower that goes down, and Eric even backs off without taking any damage. Continues to fill his towers, train some Fire Warriors. There is a Fire Warrior stood here being worthless. I don't know if Eric thinks he's in a tower or if he's just keeping them around handy. But it'd be nice to get him into a tower as soon as possible. I always like this hut here, and I even like one or two guard towers on the side bit here as well, just to protect your side door. Very common path of attack. This was Nisi's warrior hut. So we've got two warrior huts out of Eric at the moment. Only one for Nisi so far. It looks like we've got Eric moving towards the high ground. He's looking to take a elevated position. And he's just throwing down an EQ as Nisi throws out a land bridge. Gonna make a bunch of land for himself, help fortify his own position. He's almost ignoring Eric and allowing Eric to waste his mana while he continues to build up his base. You know, you've had an EQ go off here and an EQ go off here, and no real substantial damage has been caused so far. Nisi's just expanding himself, pushing himself out forward, and securing territory for himself. So it's good to see a solid start from Nisi. And it's good to see some aggression from Eric as well. We're looking at the third warrior hut now from Eric. And we missed... It looks like we missed him securing a kill onto Nisi. Actually finding the kill and finding an opportunity to push into the base. The Fire Warriors throw down their fireballs. Pick off Eric, but not before Eric gets the EQ down. And that is a nice EQ. Because all three of those guard towers are probably inaccessible now due to the land elevation. And that can be really quite annoying. But again, we have to remember that Nisi's not taken any substantial damage to his actual huts. He's still just building out his base and upgrading it nicely. Forcing players to waste the EQs on the defense is acceptable. It's not ideal, but can be forgiven. These warriors on the side strip causing a little bit of a massacre. Now, another land bridge from Nisi's going to save these guard towers. It's what we were talking about. The elevation of the land was making it difficult for them to be repaired, whereas now he gets to keep some of the high ground. Keep the guard towers for himself as well. I'd like to see a couple more guard towers here just to really solidify that wall. But Eric's looking very good at the moment. He's looking untouched until that tornado took out a hut. One hut goes down. Another hut goes down. Two tornadoes. Got to remember, Nisi hasn't been using his mana the same way Eric has, so he is sat on some mana. Empties out a couple of towers, takes out a couple of huts, just being a little bit aggressive. More ghost armies come down. Eric is trying to clear them up with the blasts. Trying to get a good view of the shamans. A few warriors patrolling on the high ground. Nisi's just dancing his warriors around, trying to send them to a side where Eric's shaman is not. You can see Eric is being forced into a position now where he's got to choose between the warriors and Nisi. Nisi comes forward and throws out even another tornado. This entire side strip's had its huts destroyed now. Two of these towers don't even have followers in them. Warrior to warrior, it looks like Eric is at a disadvantage, but if Nisi attacks into that because of the guard tower fire support, Eric's warriors would win that fight. Which is why Nisi's not sending his warriors in, because it's only a majority of one. Lightning comes out from Eric, but doesn't find the target. True Nisi fashion, he manages to dodge out the way. Blasts are being exchanged by both shamans, looking to find a way to secure a kill. Tornado from Nisi's clearing out yet another tower. Nisi's just slowly whittling away Eric's front line. You can see Eric is building up the warriors at the front for an attack. Nisi's warriors are in position, and Eric even manages to find the lightning onto Nisi's shaman. This could be a good opportunity for an attack, but Eric doesn't have quite enough warriors. 4 warriors is enough when you think of all those warriors will have to fight under fire warrior shots. Unit health is tied to their strength, so the more damage they take, the less damage they deal. And therefore, fighting under fire warriors that deal splash damage with their attacks is more of an impact than people give credit for when they're new to Populous. Earthquake comes out from Eric onto Nisi's side. It takes out a couple of guard towers, but does very little else. Does disconnect this pathway further, so Nisi will have to invest mana into fixing this up again. I'd recommend he does, because it's been allowing him to move freely between the two strips of his base, and it does look like he wants to fix it. Yeah, he's positioning his shaman. No, maybe. Yeah, there you go. Now you get a land bridge from Nisi. He'll build huts and or towers there. Try to fortify. Another lightning from Eric. Doesn't find the kill. Nisi gets pushed forward into the towers, though. Throws out a tornado, but dies shortly afterwards. Nice shot from Eric. May not have killed Nisi directly, but definitely shoved him into the range of the tower. Eric's defense on the side strip is now looking much more bolstered. He's added extra guard towers, replacing the ones that he's lost, and then some. And it looks like he's now looking to strike on Nisi's flank once again. Gods of Destruction player is throwing down swarms. He's throwing down ghosts to try to distract towers and empty them out. There's one EQ. Does he have another one? Doesn't look like it. He's just using the one. It's not perfect. It is damaging. It is annoying, but it's not the perfect way you would have wanted to see that Earthquake go. Eric does back off in time, though. He doesn't get himself killed, so he is still alive to repel Nisi's counterattack. His warriors are tearing Nisi's towers down on the side strip, and it's looking very good for Eric so far. He's in quite a strong position. Now the two shamans, true Nisi fashion. He doesn't want to protect his base. He wants to go for the trade. He throws out a tornado onto one of the towers. Lightning from Eric does not find the kill. Eric's playing very lightning heavy right now. He wants to keep Nisi's shaman dead. Another lightning from Eric. Again, doesn't find the target. Another tornado from Nisi. Even more ghosts distracting. Swarm to clear up some of the ghosts. Eric's found his defense pushed right back now at this point of the game. He has to be mindful of it. Warriors are on the side, dancing dangerously close to one another. Once again, Eric finds the kill onto Nisi, but not before Nisi throws out yet another tornado. Pretty much all of Nisi's damage has just been annoying tornadoes this game. Warriors are doing a little bit of a dance, though, running to whatever side that Eric's shaman is not going. Eric's shaman is moving up to the high ground, secure a strong position. Will maybe come down here and side Nisi, which just controlling the high ground is an advantage. Meanwhile, Nisi's pushing warriors forward and just taking out a tower that's basically a free tower. Fire warriors hiding in huts from Nisi. That's going to set up alarm bells for Eric, and yeah, he doesn't go too far forward into the base. That's good to see that caution. Throws down a frontline EQ, takes out 2 huts. That's really nice play. He's playing it patiently, he's playing it carefully. He hasn't done any significant damage to Nisi's base, and if we actually go into world view, you can see the back is pretty decently upgraded. For both players, there's plenty of upgrades, only a few huts that haven't been upgraded. But we're looking to see what the warriors do. Warrior numbers are looking slightly in favour of Eric at this point. But again, you've got defender's advantage is a thing in Populous, but only insofar as fire warrior shooting significantly affects the outcome of a warrior battle. Swarms come out from Nisi, as do the ghost armies, to try and distract the towers as quickly as possible. Looks like Eric is accepting the opportunity for a trade, sending forward not all, but a few of his warriors to take down some of these towers. He knows he's got a surplus of warriors and can afford to lose a couple of men to apply pressure onto Nisi's side. Nisi either has to answer this or give up the pressure that he's currently putting out, and it looks like Nisi is sending his warriors over. Oh, he catches a sneaky little fire warrior, trying to get his shaman from the side. Nisi's warriors are going to deal with Eric's warriors at the same time. Nisi and Eric are looking to show down. Nisi threatening a side door, tries to bait Eric, misses the lightning. Lightning from Eric finds the kill. Not before Nisi throws out a nice little land bridge. That's nice. It'll be helpful later on, if Nisi gets the opportunity to go down there a second time. Eric's forgotten about the fire warriors in the huts. Slightly mistimes his blast. Fire warriors do appear for a short amount of time when they fire from a hut. So if you time your blast well, you can actually catch the fire warrior with a blast. Now, we've got side door land bridge from Eric. 1 earthquake. Does he have a second? Is he going to die before he gets the second off? This is... There he goes. He dies, but not before the earthquake goes off. Does a nice little bit of damage. Eric so far has managed to keep Nisi pinned in his base and under pressure. But it's good to see that Nisi is constantly proposing trades. He needs to be a little bit more careful with his shaman, personally. I think his deaths have been a little bit silly and have created a lot of the opportunities for Eric to attack. But just as I say that, you've got a huge push of warriors coming in. 1 earthquake from Nisi. And the warriors are just going to leave again. All they were doing was distracting the towers. And they're turning around and they're pushing forward again a little bit more. Now that all these towers have been emptied, these warriors can win the fight. Nisi's controlling his troops very well here, just dancing them backwards and forwards, throwing out a second earthquake on the front. This could really open things up. It's pretty decent, but as you can see, Eric manages to salvage the height of the ground with a land bridge. Creates a nice little wall for himself, which he could rebuild on. Plenty of space for towers here. Not going to put any of these down, but you can see there's plenty of space for towers to fortify your position, and yet you can land bridge across here as well. Eric throws out another light as Nisi is pushing back defense with taunts. 3 warrior huts has been working out for Eric because he's been able to out-warrior Nisi pretty much all game. Nisi's got 2 warrior huts. He's built a second one at the back of his base. Identifies the warrior pressure that he is under. 1 lightning, 2 lightnings. Neither of them find their mark. Nisi's still alive. Brave's feeling a little bit dizzy. Another tornado comes out from Nisi, just emptying out towers. Nisi's doing a great job of checking which of these towers have fire warriors in them, and making sure that he empties those ones out first. Now, it looks like we've got warrior push coming down on the front of Nisi's base. At the same time, shamans are dancing, and what a nice kill from Eric. Double lightning. Nisi's completed the side, though, so Eric needs to be mindful of this. This is now a free path that warriors can come running into. It doesn't look like Eric's tried to put any towers down there yet to fortify the position. Fire warriors are moving onto the high ground to try and kill the shaman. They get a little shot off, but nothing threatening, as Eric throws down a earthquake. It's not the best earthquake in the world. Gets 1 hut. Gets 2 huts, sorry. And the warriors start to push forward as well. This entire strip's very exposed. Nisi can't really answer. Oh no, he can, because Eric's shaman moves to the front line. And in moving to the front line, it gives the warriors an opportunity to answer to the push of Eric's warriors. Another earthquake on the front line coming out from Eric. Sinks a hut, sets fire to a tower, does a little bit of damage here and there. Nothing major, nothing desperately crippling. Got fire warrior shots coming out from Nisi's fire warriors, damaging but not killing any of these warriors, and they're just going to be massacred now and cleaned up. Nisi's shaman is up and alive. He's got all of his warriors dancing backwards and forwards. Nice lightning from Eric. Tries to find the warriors, but just barely misses them. Meanwhile, Nisi's looking to propose a trade once again. Throws down the ghost, distracts one of the towers, destroys another tower. He's thrown out swarms to empty it out. Once again, Eric's just nailing Nisi's shaman every time Nisi tries to push forward with well-placed lightnings. His aim has been fantastic. But as you can see, Nisi is slowly whittling him away. What he had was once a very strong position, and it's now down to just a couple of guard towers. He's got to be careful. Just going tit for tat, he'll actually end up slightly worse off if this continues. There's space for huts here. It would be nice to see those being filled in. There is a plan here. There's still no guard towers down here. He needs to be mindful of that, because that's a really good trooping route should Eric's shaman die. Fantastically done. Oh. Just checking. I think I accidentally placed a plan down. It doesn't look like it. We've got, once again, Eric pushes forward, throws down another EQ, but these are all just EQs on the front line. Meanwhile, Nisi's going for the trade. His warriors are charging forward, securing the high ground for themselves. And this is a really good attacking path, but the warriors need to be careful. They're going to be caught by Eric's shaman here. Very unfortunate. Wow, he gets the warriors and he gets Nisi's shaman as well. This is such a great play from Eric right now. Gives him a really good opportunity to try and make something happen here. Fire warriors still sat on the high ground. A little bit sloppily played from Nisi there. Well, you can see what he was doing. The warriors were in combat with the fire warriors, so Nisi throws down the swarm to try and free the warriors up so they could run away before the lightning hit, but it just was a little too late, and Eric manages to nail the warriors with a lightning and then nail Nisi's shaman. And you can see the pressure he's allowed to exert on the map. You know, you've got warriors moving to the middle ground to secure the high ground. His shaman is at the front emptying out towers just in time for Nisi's shaman to respawn. Of course, we've got 2 warrior training huts up and ready to go, pumping out warriors for Nisi. He needs to rebuild that army. Another lightning comes out from Eric. It is nowhere near Nisi. He's throwing out some questionable aims right now. Hoping to catch Nisi not paying attention to his shaman, or paying too much attention to his shaman, as whatever the case may be. However, Eric needs to watch those warriors. He needs to move them. They get caught by the swarm. Swarm sends them running here, there, and everywhere, but the lightnings go down, and neither shaman's dead. I think Nisi thought he was dead because he stopped moving his shaman for a while. Second lightning from Eric does secure the kill. Once again, Nisi's warriors are having to run away. So it's looking to see that the blue surge of warriors are going to be coming in and taking everything down. One earthquake comes out from Eric. It's just trying to keep a track of where everything is going. These warriors are going to take out this isolated side strip and completely massacre the huts. Earthquake on the front doesn't achieve terribly much. But Eric is once again keeping his shaman alive, so he's being a little bit reserved with his attack. But in many ways that's a good thing, because it's denying Nisi the opportunity to just propose a trade and go for a counter-attack. It's actually keeping Nisi trapped in his base. He's playing very well right now. Pause comes out from Eric. Kay says, Eric, it looks like we're back into the game. Fire warriors are patrolling on the high ground. It looks like most of these towers are filled. Another lightning comes out from Eric onto one of the towers. Nisi was nearby, so I don't know if it was aimed at Nisi or the tower specifically. Either way, it does connect with the tower, and if there was a fire warrior in there, there isn't any more. Nisi's shaman is just dancing around. He's trying to go wherever Eric was not for a little bit there. Baits out another lightning from Eric. Eric does not find the kill, but it does make Nisi turn around. Nisi's using his warriors to try and clear up his side strip, but he's already lost all the huts and all the towers there. Eric throws out another light to try and snipe Nisi on his way to move down the side strip. Nisi's made a decision to secure the middle. The clash of swords, it can be heard. You get a trade of lights pushing Nisi down the hill, not allowing him to secure the high ground. That's very well played. We accidentally go and look at our shaman. It looks like once again Eric manages to kill Nisi, sending him rolling down the hill into the water with a well-placed light. Eric's just getting the better of Nisi right now, and it's very impressive to see. We've got a fire warrior dancing around at the back of Nisi's base, but once again Eric's being really reserved about his mana. He's just whittling Nisi down at the front, doing little bits of damage, getting the safe EQs, the safe damage, but he's not trying to attack. You know, he's not going into Nisi's base with ghosts and swarms and lights and taunts. Just EQing, taking the free damage, using up a little bit of his mana, but not overcommitting his shaman and not getting his shaman killed. Be very interested to see his shaman's stats at the end of this game, to see just how many shaman kills he's actually got versus shaman deaths, because of how careful he's been being with his shaman. This is very nicely placed land bridge from Nisi. It's going to give him plenty of hut space. But meanwhile, Eric is taking advantage of the fact that Nisi is expanding himself. He's pushing forward. A couple of ghosts go down, a couple of swarms go down, lights on a couple of the towers. Just clearing up and pushing some of the defense back. Nisi doesn't care. He is still expanding. His shaman is stuck running on the spot while the land elevation changes. Eric's still pushing forward. He's got warriors on the front line. Ghosts coming down. Additional ghosts. One EQ, and this is really the first EQ to see the inside of Nisi's base. There it is. Takes out a hut, lowers the height to the ground. That's going to be very annoying. Shaman Reincarnation will fix a little bit of it, but not all of it. Fire Warrior at the front being a little bit of a nuisance. Meanwhile, Nisi has secured the high ground with his warriors. He's taking this out. He's got the high ground advantage. Eric has to be very careful about pushing into this base now. Blast coming out from Nisi are going to send the warriors rolling down the hill. His army of warriors are alive, but what was he doing with them? He sent them right at Eric's shaman. They've all been killed. Nisi doesn't even find the kill onto Eric himself, but the warriors might buy him an opportunity to get in. Looks like Nisi has baited Eric's warriors, and Nisi's given himself the first real opportunity to attack. Kilate comes out, checking the safety of the huts. An easy EQ from Nisi's shaman onto the side strip. These are all fully upgraded huts, so that's nice to see. He gets one of them. Would have liked to see him get a couple more. Nice to see these guard towers on the side strip, just because it helps protect everything that little bit more. Another EQ coming out from Nisi, slightly further into Eric's base. Meanwhile, what is Eric doing? He's prepared a huge assault with warriors. Look at these warriors going here, there, and everywhere. They are all over Nisi's base. That is how you remove a high-skilled player. You troop them out of the game while their shaman is not available. Where is Eric himself? Did we miss him dying? May have missed Eric himself dying, or he's hiding in a hut somewhere. Oh, there he is, in the guard tower he was. Looks like he's making the executive decision's been made. Look at all these Braves coming forward, the Warriors coming forward. This is we're just going to attack Nisi's base directly. Troops and Shaman galore. Nisi's Shaman is stood on the side. He's not even controlling her at this point. He's doing everything he can to get Braves turned into Warriors, get his troops controlled as best as he can, so that his pop can try to survive this fight. Look at all these Warriors. But it looks like Nisi's done well to clear most of it up. Eric's just sitting in a tower. He's feeling under pressure now. Are these all ghosts? This seems very unusual. Another land bridge comes out from Nisi. What is he doing? That's very confusing. Not sure how I feel about that land bridge. We've got a Brave from Nisi. That's the Brave of Shame here. Oh, very nicely done. He gives himself a little bit of extra land. The Fire Warriors trying to kill his Shaman do not go down. Meanwhile, it looks like Nisi's regained control of his front, and now this is all land that he can build on. Suddenly, Nisi's position is looking much stronger. We got an additional Fire Warrior hut being built by Nisi on the side strip. Swarms coming out from Nisi. Once again, Eric is trying to secure the kill with a couple of cheeky Fire Warriors. We've got Nisi's land is ready to rebuild, and it looks like he's just going to cover all of this in towers. It's nice to see that Eric has repaired his front. And his defense is looking like in a bit of a better position than Nisi's, but of course Nisi now has the opportunity to build all of this out and actually create himself. We talked about it before in the games we cast with Tundar, these multiple tiered defenses that are very, very good in pressure point, and you can see he's doing exactly that. Don't know what his Shaman is doing over here. She's just like messing around, chilling. Another land bridge to smooth out the path for a Shaman duel that's coming. That is, of course, a Ghost Shaman. You can see the real Shaman is still in the tower on the horizon. Nisi doesn't fall for it. He doesn't care. He knows that's a ghost. He knows where the real Shaman is. He's just going to ignore her. Extra tornadoes are going to clear out this side defense once again. We've got a whole bunch of warriors from Eric dancing around at the front. Couple of blasts from Nisi just pushing warriors down the hill, trying to keep the high ground secured for himself. A few more blasts coming out, just clearing everything up. And look, we can start to see now, Nisi's wasted no time building all of this out, and suddenly his position looks more defensible and more stronger. That's good English. And looking much stronger. Once again, Nisi's walking down the side strip. Eric throws out a long-range light. It looks like Nisi's looking for a way to get around the guard tower. So Eric's just going to sit in that guard tower and camp. Nisi's just going to go around him. If he's trapped in his base, he's trapped in his base, you know? Once again, we've got Nisi pushing forward. He's very quick with those land bridges because he's expecting the long-range lights. And here we go. Here's the long side. This is an interesting strategic move from Nisi. We've got warriors from Eric going towards the high ground. Nisi's already positioned fire warriors to start doing the damage before the warriors get up there. So, you know, Eric might not even win that fight, although he does have a significant warrior advantage. And yes, Nisi pulls the warriors back to the safety of the guard towers and the huts. While Nisi goes for the long side door. I don't even know what you call this. I'm sure the Populous Pro community has a name for this, but I've never seen it before, so I'm just calling it the long side. whatever it is, it's clearly got Eric worried. You can see he's throwing forward Braves, throwing Fire Warriors. He wants to get Nisi out of this position, whatever this position is. Meanwhile, look at all these warriors at the front. Here we go. We have our big battle of swords. Now, these blue warriors have been softened up by Fire Warrior shots, but it does still look like they have an overwhelming numbers advantage and are just going to massacre through the yellow warriors without too many casualties. But meanwhile, this buys Nisi way more time. Start pushing forward, throwing down tornadoes, throwing down EQs. He's actually might even get one of the warrior huts here. Meanwhile, we have got land bridges from Eric trying to save. His shaman's still in his base. But it's okay because he is winning the war with troops over here. Once again, we just talked about how Nisi built all of this out and how defensible it looks, and now he's immediately about to lose it. But Eric is scared of Nisi's shaman right now. Nisi's shaman probably does have a lot of mana. It's kind of dancing in such a way that is very threatening. You certainly don't want to let her into your base, but he can also afford to do it. Throws out another light onto Nisi's shaman, but does not find the target, but Nisi gets 2 more tornadoes off, and now this entire side strip is gone. This is a free path into your base. All these towers mean nothing if you can just walk in here. And there's this long side has also been prepared. And the red base is starting to really open up and start to become very, very exposed. But on the other front, you can see these blue warriors in such large numbers have done miraculous work on Nisi's base, tearing it open. Once again, we've got even more warriors coming forward, as well as ghost braves. We saw those ghosts being created. They're just to help distract fire warriors in towers, so that the warriors do more effective damage. And this has been very interesting. I've been spending time watching the shamans when really we should be watching over here, because ultimately, this is what it's all been about. It's all been about troops this game. Eric's found some good shaman kills, but this is where he's doing damage onto Nisi. His EQs have not been great, but look at this. This is how you defend against troops, guys, if you're ever finding yourself in a position. You've got fire warriors in huts, warriors acting as a front line. These warriors are going to be taking so much damage that by the time they get into combat, they're just going to die very quickly. And there you go. Nisi's now fortified his position. He's got himself defensible at the very least. He can start to look towards his shaman. And that's exactly what he's doing. He started moving his shaman. Eric was trying to build a couple of guard towers here on the remaining undamaged ground, and Nisi says, no, that's enough of that. And he's just going to move his shaman back here, because he knows now that Eric's attack has been dealt with, he has the opportunity to make the plays. Now, we're going to see more land bridges coming out from Nisi. Interesting style of attack. Might not even be attacking. Going towards his... He's going towards his own base. Nisi's going on a magical journey. He recognizes that this is the exposed front, and he might just connect his entire... He's either doing a very long side door and coming in around here, which isn't impossible, or he's connecting to his own base so he can troop with warriors. Or he might do both. You never really know. Let's see where that next land bridge is. Interesting to see. We've got the flatten coming out from Eric. Yeah, here we go. He's going for the long side door. We've got flatten from Eric as he's going to try to challenge with the high ground advantage and the lights. Meanwhile, Nisi's got a warrior advantage. He's secured his own land with his troops. I believe Eric is only down to 2 warrior huts, which means he no longer has a warrior hut advantage anymore. And the dynamic of this game has once again shifted, but what a game this has ended up being. Another flatten comes out from Eric. Nisi's just going further and further away. Landbridge is cheaper than flatten, guys. You gotta remember that. He's just moving further and further away. He knows the range of light. Oh, this is... I like this. We've got a guard tower being built by Eric to try and give his shaman the range that she needs to hit this pathway with a lightning. Nisi's just off on a magical journey. This has been the strangest Nisi's wild ride, but meanwhile there is a distraction going on because look at these warriors over here, potentially serving as a threat. To Skatsi, to Skatsi, to Skatsi. Now these guard towers are being built and they are being completed. Another flatten comes out from Eric, giving him space for even more guard towers. He wants somewhere to put his shaman. That's what he's been doing with his shaman this game, is just putting her in towers and throwing out lights towards the second half. He's lost all pressure that he has on Nisi's base, and now he's the one trapped in his own base. Pro players will probably disagree with me and say Nisi had the game the whole time, but I strongly feel like we were seeing a lot of pressure coming out from Eric and some interesting positions for Nisi to be in. And now we're seeing that this weirdly creative attack has really exposed Eric. Nisi's giving it a wide berth. He's keeping himself away from Eric's shaman as much as possible. But the tension is rising. I can feel it building. Warriors are attacking on the minimap over here. It's a little bit of a melee between yellow and blue, and it looks like yellow came out on top and he's going to run his warriors away before they die. The land bridge gets closer and closer. The tension is real. It's mere millimeters away now. Nisi's being very threatening, very intimidating. Of course, he has to be aware that this opens himself up for an easy backdoor if he is not careful. He's got lots of warriors. And Eric makes the connection. They have been connected. Brave's stuck in huts because they're on land that's been land bridged, and that hut explodes. What was that nonsense? One corner of that hut got slightly too stretched and the whole thing went exploding. And here we go. Nisi's created the arena. Two lights don't find their targets, but the fire warriors onto Nisi's shaman. He manages to stop his shaman getting pushed into the water with a well-placed blast. Oh, both shamans go down. After all of that, both shamans die. And we'll see what happens from here on out. Now, this is a very easy pass for Nisi to attack down when he respawns, because that's only a couple of land bridges away. We've got all these towers here, but Nisi never needs to walk down this path again because of the way he's built his long side door. This is unbelievably unusual. I've never seen an attack like that before. Everybody gets one. The warriors are doing a little bit of a dance, trying to find an opening. But meanwhile, Nisi's not wasted time. While he was messing around with land bridges, look, he's got towers up. He's got huts up. He's done everything he can. He's done everything he can to increase the threat of his base. Oh, he's dancing some ghosts around, so we don't know which one's the real one, because I wasn't paying attention. I would expect the one that goes here to be the real one, because he wants to complete that backdoor and attack with a whole lot of warriors. But he could also be baiting defenses at the front. Depends whether Eric is watching or not. Yeah, Eric is going to the backdoor, so if this isn't Nisi's real shaman, we should be seeing a shaman turn around very soon. Nisi runs his population. That must not be the real shaman. It's not the real shaman. His real shaman's actually coming forward, and this is a base trade situation. Army of warriors are charging forward, and meanwhile we do have Firestorm from Eric. Both bases going to take a huge hit here. It's going to be down to who trades better. Now, there are warriors everywhere, and the warriors might be the differentiating factor. Eric's stuck on a hill. He's got plenty of mana, but what's he going to do with that mana? Nisi's shaman hasn't even got into the base and unloaded yet. Meanwhile, there are warriors everywhere. Oh, Volcano comes out, but this is just onto base. The population has run away. There's a good amount of damage. We've got warriors everywhere. One firestorm, one earthquake, two earthquakes from Eric. It's going to all hell, and I clicked on my shaman when I didn't mean to. The difference is that Eric did not save his population, whereas Nisi did. So while neither player has a base, Nisi is definitely in a stronger position at this point in the game. Lambridge is coming out, trying to be offensive. Doesn't quite get the hut. And it does look like this will be GG in Nisi's favour. Oh no, the volcano froze. The Lambridge is coming out. Where to freeze the volcano with object overload. You can freeze a volcano, so this lava does not go forward and destroy everything. But still, Eric has to be mindful of the fact that he's taken a significant amount of damage. There's still warriors in his base, cutting his population down immensely. Nisi's getting creative with the Lambridge, trying to kill with elevation. Doesn't quite get it, but you can see what he was doing. Nisi's population are all in one spot, however. And as we can see, Nisi finally goes down, but let's look at the bases, shall we? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 huts for Eric. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 for Nisi, not including all these damaged ones that can be repaired. GG, well played, says Babo, and I'm inclined to agree. I believe that Eric has, in fact, lost this game. He made it a good game. We've been casting this game for about 40 minutes. Our actual game time is exactly 40 minutes. And it's been an epic game. My voice actually kind of hurts from talking too much. And really interesting to see this troop-heavy style of play come out from Eric. I've not cast Eric too much on the channel, and therefore was unfamiliar with his playstyle, but this seems very good. He says GG lol. It was an interesting game to watch. Competitive for a good chunk of it. But Nisi says, why you play PP so boring? GG. With you, yes. Yeah. Everyone's a little bit scared of Nisi Shaman, but I do agree, and I'm glad that Babo's echoing that he had the upper hand in the mid-game. He should have capitalized on that a little bit more. And you can start to see what we were talking about being reflected in what the players knew. In the... Because Eric was constantly throwing out mana here, and here, and here, and here, and, you know, just not ever actually hitting Nisi's base hard. This was his deepest EQ. This was his deepest EQ. And it's just, you know, if that's your deepest EQ, obviously not including the trade at the end, but now we've got Nisi once again pushing in. Eric's making one last-ditch attack, but as we've said, this has already been decided to be over. GG's been called by the players. Tornado onto Nisi's Fire Warrior hut is going to delay the inevitable and drag this game out just that little bit longer. Eric's doing what he can to resiliently build huts down these strips. Another EQ comes out from Nisi onto the troop huts. Hopefully it should get them. It doesn't get either of them. Of course it doesn't. And this hut somehow survives. This hut blows up with one corner, and then that hut survived for some reason until it burnt to the ground. Another EQ coming out from Nisi, just doing a little bit of damage. We get an EQ from Eric. He's doing what he can to damage Nisi before the end of the game. He's not going to be able to win from this position. He's too far behind. But at least he's doing damage, being a bit of a nuisance. These Braves are just chilling. Chilling with the enemy Shaman. She's like, nice huts you have here. I will censor that. Another EQ comes out from Nisi. He's had enough of the towers, of the huts, and he just wants to take them down. It looks like GG's been called. It looks like Eric has left the game, which is the sign of GG. Game is over. Disconnect has been had. Nisi is your victor, and in this 40-minute 1v1, takes the victory.